Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Sasha, and around here we dive into African spirituality, manifestation, and connecting with our ancestors. So today I just want to come on here and talk about something that a lot of people feel, but sometimes don't even realize what it is. Intuition. It's that gut feeling, that inner knowing, that little nudge, and how it's actually one of the main ways your ancestors speak to you. So let's start here. Intuition is not just guessing. It's not guesswork. It's not paranoia either, and it's not random. So in African spiritual systems, with the wide variety that we have, intuition is generally understood as ancestral memory. Like your DNA is whispering back to you. It's your bloodline, your spirit guides, your ancestors who walked before you, giving you guidance without words. So just think about it for a second, right? Like they've lived, they've made mistakes, some big, some small. They've seen things, and that kind of energy, which is wisdom, does not disappear. It passes down through you. So when you suddenly feel like, oh, don't trust this person or don't take that opportunity, that can be a form of ancestral knowledge activating inside of you. Now let's get into some signs that your ancestors might be trying to reach you through your intuition. So first of all, it's that gut feeling that won't leave you alone. Like you keep hearing in your spirit, don't go there, or this is not the right path, or this is the right path, or go there, do this. So that inner voice just keeps repeating itself. That is them. And another way they can communicate is through dreams and visions. So sometimes it comes in dreams, right? Your grandparents who have passed on, or even people you don't necessarily recognize, but they feel familiar. That's ancestral communication. Another thing I'll add is physical sensation. So you might feel like chills all over your body, sudden like warmth, brushes against your ear, pressure maybe on your shoulders or your stomach. For me, it's definitely my stomach. I would feel it turning if something is not right. And then synchronicities. You keep seeing certain numbers, most popularly known as angel numbers. I call them ancestral numbers, like 1111, 1234, and so on. The same message just keeps popping up everywhere you go. That can also be your ancestors aligning the universe to get your attention. So your inner knowing feels louder compared to what knowledge feels like in the body. So it's like your mind is saying, this makes sense, but your spirit says no. And honestly, when it comes to spirituality, yes, logic is necessary, but it's not the biggest piece of the pie. What our ancestors really care about the most would be protection and alignment. So the question you probably have is, how do we actually build this connection so your intuition is clearer? And I can only give the advice from my experience. So just keep that in mind. This is general advice, everything that I have experienced in my life and my connection to my ancestors. And I feel like I'm passing this message on just so that, it could be helpful to some people out there. So start acknowledging your intuition. So when you feel that nudge, that push, don't brush it off. Say, okay, ancestors, I hear you. Then you could also keep an altar or a sacred space. I always talk about that, somewhere in your home where you can light a candle, pour some water, leave some offerings. And it doesn't have to be something huge, just intentional. That's the key. And journal your intuitive hits. Write down the dreams, the gut feelings, how they played out. Over time, you'll see some patterns. Spend time in stillness as well. A lot of people can hear their intuition louder and more, just more clearly because there's less noise. So give yourself a chance, give your spirit a chance to listen. And then another thing you can do is ask directly. So you can sometimes say, ancestors, guide me, make it clear, and you'd be surprised how quickly that clarity shows up. I had a question about a collaboration that was proposed to me quite maybe a few months back, and I wasn't sure if it was the right thing that I needed to do. And what I did was, I gave my offerings, I talked to my ancestors and said, if this is the wrong thing to do, if it's a no from you, please show me 3 pink cars. In my area where I live, in my city, pink cars are not that common. I never see them. So that's why I asked for something very specific. And then, it took a while, but the following week, I saw so many, even more than 3 cars in abundance. And then to me, that was just the clearest message from them. So the next time you feel that deep knowing, don't ignore it. That's your ancestors, making sure that you stay on path with your destiny and stay protected, of course, and stay aligned. So let me know in the comments below, what's one time your intuition saved you or guided you? I would love to hear your stories, because sharing them helps other people realize that they're not alone in this journey. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, because we're really building a community of people reconnecting to African spirituality and ancestral wisdom. So until next time, see you guys. Bye.